Dear participants, kindly wait a moment. We can start the session by sharp 10:30.
சரி எல்லாம் லாகின் பண்ணிட்டேன். அது ஒன்றும் இல்லைங்க சார். உங்களோட டேட் ஆஃப் பர்த் இதை மட்டும் கேட்டுச்சு. ஆப்பில் நீங்கள் அது போடலாம். ப்ரௌசர் மூலமாக ஜாயின் பண்ணி.
Bhavana, you are able to see me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Mohandas sir.
Good morning.
Sir, shall we start the session?
Pardon?
Shall we start the session, sir?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm sitting here.
Okay, sir. Good morning to one and all. I am Bhavana from PS Quality Certification Private Limited, Chennai. Welcome you for today's session. We have 20 years of legacy of operations. We provide support to higher education institutes across the nation for getting accreditation under NAC and NBA. We provide support for NIRF also. We guide the HEI in updating the deemed university status and complying with other statutory requirements. We provide guidance in getting certification under ISO, green energy and environmental audit, and academic administrative audit. We provide training in NABL, NABH, FDP, VAC, and quality tools. We also support HEI in forming MOU, securing consulting funding, and establishing tie-ups with international universities. PSQC is a well-established professional research and development organization supported by highly qualified, devoted, and experienced professionals focuses on achieving quality. Today, webinar on improving position in NIRF by Dr. Guru Prasad Muganda. We are honored to introduce our expert speaker, Professor Dr. Guru Prasad Mohanda, who brings over 34 years of distinguished experience in field of teaching and research. He is former professor and head of the Department of Pharmacy at Annamalai University. He previously held the position of National Technical Officer for Essential Drugs and Medicines at WHO India. A scholar and mentor, he has guided 20 PhD researchers, contributed over 100 peer-reviewed publications, numerous textbooks, leads major products in pharmacovigilance, antimicrobial resistance, and medical management funded by prestigious bodies like WHO, UGC, ICMR, and CSIR. His work has earned him top honors, including the Best Researcher Award from Annamalai University, IAPST Pharmaceutical Scientist of the Year Award 2015, and recipient of PC Ray Gold Medal. As a national leader, he served as Vice President of Community Pharmacy Division of Indian Pharmaceutical Association and a former National Advisor on Pharmacovigilance. He has traveled extensively around the globe and delivered lectures. He has been writing in print media, educating the common man. Professor Mohanda is perfectly poised to share deep insights on improving institutional performance and NIRF ranking. Once again, I am happy to welcome you, sir. You can take on over the session now.
So can I start?
Yes, sir.
My slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, friends. Today is a very auspicious day. We are in the Navaratri. We are celebrating throughout the country, and some states we start celebrating also Durga Puja. And all my greetings to all of you. Friends, first thing we must realize, we must appreciate also. What is the main thing that we want to appreciate is we have the interest to improve. We have the interest to improve. So we have some ranking we get, or we may be first time planning to enter, but The thing is, you are all here this morning just because we want to improve ourselves. And when we want to improve ourselves, that is the best thing in life, that every day we should think of what we are yesterday, tomorrow we must be different. Yes, friends, coming to today's discussion is improving the ranking or improving the position in our NIRF ranking. Friends, so let us a little bit discuss about the history of NIRF, because we learn from the history and we work for the future. And look at this NIRF. It started in 2015 when the government has approved, yes, we should go for ranking of higher education institutes. MHRD means Ministry of Human Resource Development. And now we renamed it Ministry of Education. So the first ranking was published in 2016, and the latest ranking that is published in few days back in this 2025. So almost it is a decade since we have started our journey on ranking higher education institutes. And within this, if we look at, there are many other things happened, not just the NIRF ranking. Many other organizations like QCI, they have also come with suggestion or the initiative for ranking and accreditation of higher education institutes. Friends, if we look at the various ranking categories and the subjects, look at the 2025 ranking. So we have overall national ranking, we have engineering discipline, we have management discipline, we have pharmacy discipline, we have college ranking, we have ranking for architecture institutes, we have ranking for law, medical, dental, and even we have ranking for research institutes, innovation. So totally we have 9 categories and 8 subject domains. So universities ranking, even the university, if you say, there are several universities ranking, open universities ranking, state public universities, skill university, and so on. And the new has come is 17 that I have mentioned here is sustainable development goals. So when an institution intends to go for overall ranking, the minimum student strength should be 1,000. Then only the institution can think of. When the institution has more than 500 research papers in peer-reviewed journals, or at least 1,000 students pursuing PhD, can go for the research institution category. So these are some of the inclusion and exclusion category. So totally we have 17 types of ranking institutions, 9 category wise, and 8 is subject wise. Friends, why we want good ranking? Why we want good ranking? Because it boosts the reputation, and everybody is after that. Who does not want to be known as reputed for institute? Even as an individual, you want people should recognize my contribution. People should appreciate me as an individual. So, but we are not talking at this moment about individuals. We are talking about the institution. So, when we talk of the institution, it is not just the institution get good reputation. Remember, friends, every teacher of that institution also will have a proud feeling that I belong to that institution. So this is question of reputation. Next is student enrollment. There are many institutions we find difficult to get the students. And when the students are first coming to our institute, that is a pride. And ultimately, every institution wants all my seats should get filled up, either it is government, private, self-supported, whatever. Every institution, the first criteria we look at is all my seats are filled up or not. And remember, friends, when we are in the private sector, many times we get this as an excuse. If the seats are not filled up, the management sometimes says to the teachers and other employees, see, our many seats are lying vacant. What would be our financial position? The next benefit that we get is we get the grant. Friends, there are many institutions give grant. For example, All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE. So it gives grants not only for the development. Okay, our machineries are very old. We want to change our machineries to make it update. Yes, they can apply for MODROP scheme. They can apply for the research grant. So like that they have, but only the health science programs, they have limited scope for research grant because their regulatory bodies do not fund. They get from the government, no doubt, but what the engineering institutions they get from AICTE, that amount they don't get from the medical council or dental council or pharmacy council in that. So there is every possibility that we may get the grant from the government bodies because we have good ranking. Yes, please. Madam, some sound is coming. Can we? So,
Hello, ma'am. Can you put the call on me? Yeah, sir. It's okay, sir.
And the research funding, chances of getting funded for our research is also improves with our NIRF ranking. And another very important is when we say some institutions have good faculty, some institutions don't get experienced faculty because faculty has also their choice. Where should they work? So everybody wants to work in a reputed institution. So when we have good ranking, automatically we get that reputation, and many good faculties will be interested to join our college or institution. So let us look at, I'm sure you are little aware of all these things, but just a recapitulation of the key parameters. So we have 5 parameters, key parameters: teaching, learning, and resources, which takes about 30% of weightage. Research and professional practice, this is also important, and it also takes about 30% of the weightage. So 30 plus 30 is 60 is over. And another 40% is shared by graduation outcomes, 20%, outreach and inclusivity is 10%. And what is the peer reception? Perception. So this perception is what people think about our institution. So that also have a good, at least see, you can see 10% of the weight of total 100 comes from the public perception. It isn't. So when we look at teaching, learning, and resources, so what are the data we need to submit for this teaching, learning, and research? Teaching, learning, resources. Sorry, it is not research. It is the title I put wrongly. Teaching, learning, and resources. What we need, the data, student strength, faculty student ratio. See, very important, student strength is okay. Next is very important is faculty student ratio. So each faculty, how many student? Faculty with proportion of the teachers with PhD qualification. And what is our financial resources? How do we utilize them? Whether we have the online education system. See, online education system doesn't mean that we have the system, but there are many online education which are even freely available. But do we encourage our people, students and teachers to undergo this, like MOOC program? It is free, massive online education program. It is available free. But do we encourage? How do we encourage? Simply putting a notice or telling the students, it will not be appreciated. Yes, we have the system. What is the system? the students should come, and we have the system of learning from this education program, and this education program is free, and the student will have all help from the college side to sit and learn, listen and learn. That means we encourage the MOOCs program, specifically few systems, few computers with listening system should be made available. And not only should be made available, how many people are joining all these programs, we should keep a record of this. Now, coming to the new education policy, that is national education policy, what we want is multiple entry and multiple exit. Again, friends, many of the programs, the college has no say. It is all the regulatory bodies, at least at the lowest level, we have the university to which we are affiliated, and the highest at the regulatory bodies like councils. So they decide mostly about the whether there will be multiple entry or exit. But definitely we'll have a system where we can infuse the Indian knowledge system, whether it is available in the curriculum or not, but we can include this Indian knowledge system, and definitely the regional language and the programs are taught in regional language, they get the preference. The third point is research and professional practice. So here we have again 5 parameters: publication, citation, patents, research projects, research and professional practice. Friends, if we look at publication, citation, we have a lot of issues on publication and citation. And something that recently introduced is if publication are fine, but if publication are retracted, if publications are retracted, what should be done? So that is, we'll come to that. And again, citation. Many times I am a researcher, all my papers will have all my in the reference so that we get the better citation. So this is all. Now self-citation is discouraged. Friends, many of our people are doing good research, but when they are doing good research, their findings should be patented. Why their findings should be patented? So others cannot copy this. Friends, there is one issue with the patent. Patent is little time consuming and expensive. Who will bear this? The institutions should encourage. If some teachers or researchers of the institution are going for patents, the institution should have a policy to pay for the patents. Patents period is 20 years. So for 20 years, to keep the patents live, the payment should be done by the institution. And how many research projects we have? This is for the research and professional practice. The graduation outcomes, it has 20% of the total value. Placement and higher studies, we have the placement, training and placement cell, probably all institutions have. But thing is, we should be very active. Means it is not just guiding, coming to the class and calling them for a, and we probably what we need here is little bit more involvement so that we can provide them guidance at personal level. Second problem comes here is many of them are going for higher studies, but we don't have the data. We don't have the data. So this why this problem comes? Somehow there is a communication gap between the institution and the students. So if we miss even one student, higher education, after completing study in our institutions, they go away. But whether they have gone for higher studies, whether they have gone for working, we have little difficulty in mapping them. And friends, the very important in this case is keep tracking your existing students, because the existing students will be the source for information. University examination, what is their median salary, what number of PhD students in the institutions. It is not that all the things we can attempt at one time. There are some things which require long time strategy. There are few requires short time strategies. So we have to visualize that what we can achieve in short time, and accordingly we have to act. Outreach and inclusivity. Friends, look at the diversity of our institution. Diversity of the institution, it is not just the look of the students, whether students are from neighboring states or students are only from our states. Even if we encourage the teachers from other states, the student also will get to know about this and they will come automatically. So the regional diversity, and this we need to see about the regional diversity. It is not just the neighboring states or the other states, even the other countries. Friends, if we look, many of the institutions where actually we have more women faculty, and we have come to a level where maybe a situation come where still now we are talking of the women diversity, maybe the gender diversity we need to look at, because men may be becoming minority in the institution because people are aware and people are able to send their daughters to the college. They are sending their daughters to higher education and sending their daughters also to work. Coming to the other diversity is economic. So what percentage of our students are from economically and socially challenged category? So what percentage of students we have accommodated in physically challenged students in our institution? So when it is perception, we look at the two groups, the academic peers, means the other teachers, what they think about our institution, and employers who are our prospective employers, what they feel about our institution. Remember, it is not a small percentage, 10% of marks comes from the perception. Coming to the publication, we have the new situations. If this year we have published, fine. But when we are submitting our NIRF ranking, many papers have been retracted. And when papers have been retracted, so the negative marking is to be awarded to the institution. And this, at this moment, we have not have the retraction, but it happened previously. So that is a big challenge now, the research ethics to be included in our institution. Self-citation. Yes, I am a good researcher. I have many publications, but everywhere I put some reference of my own publication. This is called self-citation. And the self-citation is to be eliminated. And they're asking at the institution level itself to eliminate this. Though they will be verifying it. So two new parameters. One is SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. This has been introduced in 2025 ranking. There are several goals that has been fixed, sustainable development goals. Friends, when we have entered to the new millennium, it was 2000. With all the funfair and everything, we are euphoric. Yes, a new millennium is coming. So at that time, all the countries joined together and they committed to achieve something to make the world better. And that was Millennium Development Goals. And that was over. Yes, we achieved many, but we could not achieve also substantial. And then in 2015, again the world leaders joined together and design these sustainable development goals. That is, we should be able to reach these sustainable development goals. It has got several goals. Some of the importance are eliminating poverty, eliminating inequality, reducing the impact of climate change, and environmental sustainability 2030. We are 5 years behind. So these 5 years, how much we are able to achieve. And every year, the government of India prepares SDG development plan and achievement, what we planned and what we have achieved. And now every target is for 2030. Research and professional practice, these are also new parameters introduced. Friends, every institution submits the data. Every institution submits the data, and this data needs to be verified. One of the challenges that we have been facing many times, the people are telling that college has not submitted the correct data. That institution has clubbed together all the departments and all the departments, that because in university we have departments. So when all the departments data sometimes pulled and submitted together, though it is for only for a particular department, particular discipline. So like that, we have many complaints. There are many complain about quality of data. There are complaint about falsification of the data. Yes, sir. So that is why the NIRF has started forming a committee of experts, the domain experts. They will first verify the data. Then what the NIRF has made is every institution has to nominate a nodal officer. Every institution is normally a senior level officer, usually a faculty, who will be responsible for coordinating regarding the data. And the research data are usually verified with Web of Science and Scopus. But when there is a discrepancy after verification from the Web of Science or Scopus, yes, it is claimed but not available. In such cases, this is also shared with the institution to get their opinion. It is not just simply removed. Friends, another very important thing is in our institution, we should look at how the data system can be digitized. If the data system is digitized, it will be easy for us. Yes, it may be some difficulties, some investment required, but in long run, it is easy to get the real-time data and there will be no missing data. So digitization is important. So what we say is, if our institution have digital transformation, it increases the stakeholders' communication. So we have better communication with the students, better communication with alumni, better communication with employer. Friends, many times we ask our employers, we ask our alumni to give a feedback, and they're reluctant because of many reasons. So if we have the digitized system, probably it helps us getting their feedback. And what is important is, when we have digital transformation of all our data, this helps in quickly generating data when it is required, because every time starting from the scratch, collecting data to making them in a proper format is a very, very difficult task. Friends, look at this. The first ranking we started in 2016. So at that time, 3,565 institutes. In 2025, we have 14,163. That means you can see what is the growth. The number of institutions from 3,000 to 14,000. 5 times. So that shows our position is very vulnerable, because everybody wants to climb. So this is a big challenge, very competitive. And what we have seen in 2025 ranking, research and professional practice has a closest or the strongest relationship with overall ranking. Research and professional practice, because that is only at the institutional level how good we are, and we are able to see those who have good research and professional practice, they are getting the highest ranking. So friends, when we are looking of strategies to improve NRI, fix your vision. Think of always, yes, this is what I have to achieve. So that should be the first strategy. So that's, it is not the individual, that institution. So when it is institution, every member of the institution, especially the management and the teachers, should have this vision. Yes, we want to achieve this. That is fixing our vision. So if we have vision, if we have, then only we can work. At the crossroad, yes, where I am going, there are 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes. Which side I should go? My vision should be clear. Yes, I have to reach here. So at this moment, our vision should be how we'll be able to improve the ranking in NIRF. Now, many institutions you have seen, Probably you have also a target institution. How that institution is able to achieve this. So look at the data of that institution. They're publicly available. They're publicly available, this data. And now look at those data, how they are different from yours. Think of how I can aim, how we can aim, and never think of I. Always please think of we. So, institutional development plan we should fix, and this development plan will have short term and long term plan. Now we have many parameters that we have discussed, and look at which parameters we will be able to do. It is not that everything we will be able to do, but which parameters will be able to do, prioritize. This is a, see, number of PhD scholars, number of scholars getting PhD. It will take time. We can't do overnight. But what we can do overnight, so that will be a short-term target, and long-term target also we have to fix. So take all the teachers of your institution to only this vision. Yes, we have to improve our ranking. So that means encourage the faculty for improving themselves. Improving themselves. So how will encourage them? There are different ways of doing. Simply we say, yes, a teacher publishes a good publication in Scopus. So the teacher gets the benefit. What about the institution? Institution also gets the benefit. When institution gets the benefit, institution's obligation that that particular teacher should be encouraged to do further. So that can happen from giving an award to giving others benefits, like, okay, giving an increment, giving a case award, all good publication, the institution bears the expenditure of publication. So like that encouragement we have to do from different angle. And the last one is improving resource allocation for everything. See, remember friends, nothing happens without money. We may say money is not important, but nothing happens without money. So resource allocation is the first step in improvement. We can have 1,000 motivations, but if there are no resources, we'll not be able to improve. Look at this research and professional practice related strategy. You fix a target, how many publications we want. What about citations? There are highly cited publications. There are patents. These you have to fix a strategy. Yes, the number of publication, for example, how many you want, because the publication will come from the researcher and teachers. So you have to encourage them. Say at least you should have one publication per year in Scopus and Web of Science. You should have two publications. So whatever you want to fix. So that should be taken together. It is not just the one-sided. The teachers also should accept this. Friends, this is graduation outcome, number of full-time students getting the PhD degree, and it is not easy, and many of the institutions may not have the status of research institutions. So faculty related strategy encourage the teachers to have higher qualification. So when we look at the higher qualification, the teacher might have joined at after completing his or her master's program. So they should be encouraged to do PhD, because this is one, what proportion of teachers have the PhD degree. Then coming to the senior faculty, we normally have three categories. Those who are up to 8 years, then 8 years to 15 years, and then more than 15 years. Friends, many times things are different, and it has been happening because an experienced faculty, the institution has to pay more salary, and many institutions are not interested on this. So, but when the institution is not interested, so everything we have to look at, every parameter we have to look at. Looking at the teacher-student ratio, if it is 1:20, one gets the full mark. In overall category, there is one overall category where we have the ranking. So this is one parameter. Probably we should be able to look at this. Yes, we'll have 1:20. See how many students in your institution, how many faculty. And financial allocation, they are looking at how much money spent per student, spent per student. Diversity, students percentage from other states, from other country. Gender diversity, I have also told few minutes back. So we can also look at this, whether we can improve the diversity. Looking at the students related strategy, enhance the student support system. So when we talk of the student support system, what sorts of student support system? What percentage of students are getting pre-seed? What percentage of students are getting concession for tuition fees? What percent of students are not paying tuition fees? Means their tuition fees is waived. That is one side. The other side is whether we have this system, counseling system, students are, because these students are in age group, they're very, very vulnerable. It is not always we have to look about their physical health. We have also interest to look at their mental health. See, earlier we are not talking of the mental health. We are talking of anybody has a mental health problem. We say it is a psychiatric patient. But we are now no more talking about that. So issues in health, mental health is also important category like our physical health. So whether we have a system to support some such students, then the career guidance, yes, we cover all the syllabus, this everything, but there is something called soft skill, whether we guide the students to pursue what is their interest. Somebody has interest on arts, somebody has interest on dance, somebody has interest on singing, whether we are able to support them, and the institution can create a welfare fund for the students, and they should look at the student wellness, not just the physical health. So perception related strategies, I said 10% marks weightage is for perception. So when your institution, you conduct so many examinations and many people comes. So keep tracking some of these academics who are coming here. They may be in the peer perception category. Similarly, track with the employers who get the message to participate in providing their perception, and very important for us is we have to create that. And what I need to normally is beat your own drum. I advise beat your own drum. That means you should be able to tell that we are the best. If we do not tell others we are the best, how others will know? So before this NIRF ranking, how people are thinking about the good institution, it is just because what we hear from others, what we hear from others. So that is the word of mouth. That means we know whatever we listen, how much truthful they are. If someone tells whispers, how many are telling the truth? So investing in improving NIF ranking is like a marathon race. Marathon race, one day one cannot participate and claim the championship or claim the gold medal. A long time practice. So is NIRF ranking. And we need to sow our seeds. So one day it will become tree. And NIRF ranking is very, very important. Just putting them all together, whatever I have told today, strengthening the faculty qualification, improving the teacher-student ratio, encouraging research output and citation, alumni engagements and how we can improve. That should be also a important criteria. Building a better infrastructure and teaching resources. Friends, infrastructure building, it takes time. And but improving the teaching resources, it does not require much investment also, because now one nation, one publication. That means one nation, the government of India is planning or have already started. I don't remember. Has already started that subscription will be paid by the institution, government, so that all institution can get this. Promote inclusivity and outreach activities. That is all in your hand, institution hands, and improving graduate outcomes and student success. So these are some takeaway message from my side. But whatever it is, please keep your documenting system so that will not miss a point. So our documentation system should be made in such a way that every achievement is recorded. Thank you very much. Please feel free to ask me questions. Any idea you have, you want to share, can also share it.
Sir, I think there is no more queries. Shall we wind up the session, sir?
So friends, please pardon me if I am misunderstood. It should not happen like this cartoon. Okay, Vavana.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the excellent presentation. Dear participants, thank you for your support and active participation. Now we have shared the feedback for e-certificate in chat box. Kindly fill that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I can leave.
Sure, sir. Sir, actually, there is a question in chat box, sir.
Please tell me.
How important is the financial utilization of the institute in NIRF?
How important is the financial utilization? Yes. See, this we have generated our revenue. Maybe from the students' tuition fees or donation, whatever we get. But how are we presenting? How are we are using? If, for example, see, already you have written, if budget is not allocated to the library every year, for example, that must be increased. If there is no increase, how we will get the new resources, new books? So that is the proportion of increase in budget that will be counted as one of the parameters. So budget allotment and is important not only for our library, for everything. Without money, nothing happens. An individual is not able to spend money if there is no allocation. But at the same time, allocation does not mean way we like to spend, we'll spend. We'll have a prudence, we'll have a restriction how we should utilize our limited fund is always limited. Fund is never, even the best country, the richest country, also will have the fund limitation. Yes, this is a very different issue. I not like to comment on this, but the institution should make in such a way nothing like contractual staffs. They're all staffs. See, the contractual staff means moment we say contractual, they are not eligible to get all benefits of the institution. So that automatically makes our teachers, why should I work? Because I don't get all the benefits. So this is, and as far as ranking is concerned, there is nothing like what is optimum, what is the ratio. It is in accreditation we get, but in ranking, it is our position. Who gets the first will get the first. Who get the more marks will get the first rank. This someone has asked if what is the score of individual institute. It is for me to tell. It is difficult from my side. Probably you can write to the NIRF and they will be able to tell you what was your rank. Any other question? Bhavana,
Yes, sir.
I think we can just see.
Sure, sir.
So, Bhavana, there is no other question, no?
Yes, sir. I think shall we wind up?
Okay.
No more questions, I thought. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Dear participants, kindly fill the Google form in chat box for the certification.